Now, Brad's never played this game before, so I'm all alone on this review. Now, as you know, we based the game on 4 topics: gameplay, controls, story, and graphics. I'm going to talk about gameplay first, and the gameplay is pretty freaking amazing. Now, unlike the first Assassin's Creed, you can get better swords and armor by visiting a blacksmith. In the first one, you only had the ones that you started with, and that's it. And what I really love is that you can climb over any building. There's little edges jutting out of the wall, enabling you to climb. And it's very useful when you're trying to get away from guards, or if you just want to get to a certain point faster. Now, one aspect of the gameplay that I don't like is that you can only kill 2 civilians in a row. If you kill a third, you desynchronize. In the first game, you just lost health, and you could wait for it to replenish. But in this game, if you kill 3, you desynchronize immediately. And sometimes I just feel like running around and killing random people, but there's other games for that, I guess. Now, another thing that's really nice about this game is that there's hidden things to find, such as glyphs and feathers. The feathers are just spanned out over the rooftops of all the cities, and when you collect all of them, you get the Auditore cape. Nothing really special about it, but there is an achievement for collecting all the feathers, and there's another one for wearing the Auditore cape in every city. Now, if you don't want to go feather hunting, there are 20 glyphs spread throughout the whole game. Now, a glyph is an image on a wall that's usually hidden. When you find it, you use your eagle vision, and it starts up this weird sequence, and you have to solve a puzzle. And if you solve the puzzle correctly, it unlocks part of a video. And I'm not going to spoil it by telling you what the video is, but I will tell you that it's very confusing. Now, another good aspect about the gameplay in this game is there's a lot more side missions than in the first game. I don't know about you, but I was getting tired of rescuing civilians in the first game. Well, in this one, there's races, assassination contracts, courier assignments, and defending a woman's honor. The races are exactly what you would expect them to be. A race. You have a time limit, and you go from checkpoint to checkpoint to checkpoint to checkpoint. And you people should know by now that I hate doing that, so I've only actually ever done one race. Now, if you're searching around and you happen to find a pigeon coop, you'll find an assassination contract in it. And all they are is just going to kill someone like you normally would, but there's a lot less story behind it. Courier assignments, you're pretty much a mailboy. All you do is deliver a couple letters, and that's it. Now, defending a woman's honor, you go and beat up some guy that's cheating on her. Now, these side missions are kind of pointless unless you need money or you just want to break from the story, but it definitely is an improvement over the first game's side missions. Now, the free roam, it isn't that great, but it's still pretty good. Like, you can wander around for a half hour and still have fun with it. Overall, I really loved the gameplay, and I'm giving it a
9 out of 10.
Now on to controls, and the controls are pretty good. B pushes people out of the way and grabs people. A jumps, dodges, sprints, and steals money. X assassinates and counterattacks. Y is eagle vision and talking to people. The left analog stick, of course, moves, and the right analog stick moves the camera. D-pad selects weapons between your hidden blade, your sword, your fists, and lets you take some medicine. The right trigger lets you run, the left trigger locks on, the right bumper pulls up the weapon wheel, and the left bumper is the chase camera. Start, of course, is pause, and select pulls up the map. Overall, they're pretty comfortable, and they fit almost perfectly. Controls get a
9 out of 10.
Now on to story, and the story is pretty freaking good. The moment you start the game, it hooks you in because you're actually escaping from the factory that held you there the entire first game. And then you get in a different animus and you play as another assassin from the bloodline of Desmond Miles. This time, your name's Ezio Auditore. At the beginning, you're just a normal teenager, but then your father and brothers get killed and you discover the story about assassins and Templars and that your father was an assassin. You spend the whole game murdering the Templars that caused your family's death, and by the end, you yourself become an assassin. I'm not going to reveal too much more, but I will say that it adds to the story from the first game, like the fact that there's more than one piece of Eden. You can also get Altair's armor and Altair's sword, which are the best armor and sword in the game. The only problem I found with the story is that just like the first game, the story just seemed to drop in excitement at certain points, but not for too long. Overall, I'm going to give story an
8 out of 10.
And finally, on to graphics. The graphics were pretty good. The buildings were well designed, and the kills were pretty freaking sweet. The people were usually well designed, and the only problem I had was that all the thieves, they looked almost exactly the same, and the same goes for the mercenaries and the ladies. Other than that, the main people were good and had good expressions. I'm going to give graphics an
8 out of 10.
Now all four scores are averaged out. Gameplay 9, controls 9, story 8, and graphics 8, which gives us an 8.5 out of 10. Based on the final score, the game gets placed into one of three categories in the gaming library. The Hall of Fame 8 to 10, Keepers 4 to 7, Sucks So Bad Destroy It 3 and below. Assassin's Creed 2 gets the honor of being our first game to fall into the Hall of Fame. Join us next time on
Eyehasaxe Reviews.